hates that song because, earlier, a less mature version of me has been to many Dropkick Murphys concerts that I drug her to, and, less
I
mature.
think we just went to one. Didn't we take our daughter?
Yes, I took our 11-year-old to a Dropkick Murphys concert.
Okay.
You need to see a good mosh pit before you're 15. Call me old-fashioned, but I just believe that. Guys, so our topic was, what was our topic? Talk about laughter.
Something about joking.
Something about joking. So let me tell you something. We take laughter very seriously in our house. Like, we take it very, very seriously. There's a couple of chairs up here if anybody needs a chair. If you have a chair next to you, raise your hand. I don't want anybody standing up. Yeah. All right. So if you see a hand up and you are currently chairless, you can amend that situation if you'd like to become chairful instead of chairless. All right. Chairs over here, chairs over there, chairs on the ceiling. Let's go. So laughter is something we take serious, so we're going to talk about that for a little bit, but there are other things that we take deadly serious too, and I think sometimes that gets missed because I'm always joking around. I'm actually a very serious person about a lot of things. Does that make sense? And those of you that are in the agency manager meeting, I think you saw some of that today, that I even made Lou cry, and that made me happy. I made Lou cry. That's like a checkbox on my bingo card every single convention. I got it early this time. That's normally a Sunday afternoon deal. Thank you, Lou. We take humor seriously, but we also take other things very serious, and that's the stuff we want to talk about as well. But let's talk about taking laughter seriously, taking humor seriously. Holly?
It worked. No.
About half my jokes get that exact face.
Laughter it does help with being successful, and it helps in having a happy family. Stephen does try to make us laugh every day. Brendan is still the funniest. I'm just kidding. Actually, Tinsley is pretty funny. She's really, really, really funny.
Brendan's my younger brother, for those of you that don't know context. And so Fitz has been propagating this lie for some time now. So our family trips are hilarious.
Yeah, they are. But he tries to make jokes out of everything that happens in life. Like just with this hurricane that kind of went through our house, Stephen goes, so the upside of it is we get to replace all the lighting around the pool that we did not like. I'm like, how is that funny?
That is awesome. I was like, I've hated those lights for the last 10 years. And then God took them away from us.
and then at dinner, he tells Tinsley, he's like, gosh, my childhood was so boring. You went through a pandemic, and now you went through a hurricane?
We didn't get to do any of that stuff. Seriously, I had 0 lockdowns in my childhood. It was so boring. She got to do a pandemic, like a whole pandemic, and then a hurricane? I mean, that's adventures. Yeah.
Yeah, now she's your child. Okay. Anyway, I'm actually going to write a book on all the things I have to keep Stephen from saying, especially on the family group chat with his mom, his dad, his sisters. You know what? The two that I had to keep you from actually why don't you tell them, because I wanted to hit you. What did you say? His grandfather just dies, and this is what he wanted to put on the family group chat that I had to say no to.
So before I tell this part, it's important for you to remember that you like me a lot.
Jeez, whatever.
I have a pretty dark sense of humor, and by the way, if someone's dead and you tell a joke, it doesn't make them more dead. It's not like, oh crap, you shouldn't have said that. Now Grandpa's super dead, right? He was already dead. And so I was gonna put And so I was going to put in the family group chat. I had it all loaded up, and sometimes I run it by Holly, sometimes I don't. I ran this one by Holly. I put, guys, it's okay. He went peacefully in his sleep, especially after he stopped struggling so much. It's dark, I get it. So I was like, okay, I won't put that. So then I typed up, guys, we knew he didn't have long. He was never going to outrun that bear. I didn't
Maybe
put
I
either of
just
those in the
don't
family
get
group
it.
chat.
I
You're
don't
hearing
get
it for
it.
the
It's
first time. My family
stupid.
hasn't heard. It doesn't make him more dead. But he's still dead.
Can we be serious now?
All right. Sorry. Time out.
Okay, I'm done with the jokes because they're not really funny to me.
Yes.
I'm glad you guys like it.
It's a pretty.
He does. I mean, no, we do have a lot of fun. We do laugh a lot. And I roll my eyes way too much. They told me to stop or else they're going to get stuck in my head. So I have to stop rolling my eyes so much. So are we going to go into our points and our serious points now, or are we just going to keep laughing and at
No,
you?
I mean, let's talk about that a little bit more. So, like, I think, and by the way, like any of you that know me know I talk about family life as much as I talk about business because it's really the same thing, right? Like, if you're a total jagweed in business, then nobody at your house likes you either, right? If nobody that you work with likes you, then your family is probably relieved when you go to work, right? They're like, oh, Dad's gone to work. Fantastic. I want to win at both. Does that make sense? So I talk about both a lot. So you might hear me say stuff like a father. You might hear me say stuff like a leader, but it means the same thing, right? So I feel like a leader or a father's job is to lighten the air, right? If you're not lightening the air, lightening the air, or you should bring lightning. That would be awesome. That would mean you have certain powers that would make you very valuable. Yeah. But you should be lightening the air, right? Like, if you're not lightening the air, what are you doing as a leader? Like, people should feel better when they're in your presence. It's your job to bring fun and to bring humor to things, right? To bring laughter, to bring cheer, to bring joy. That's our job. And that's why I do take it seriously. Like, I told Chandler when he was real little, every day he would go to school, and I would tell him, all right, here's the contest. Today, how many people can you make laugh? How many people can you make smile? Because if that's your focus, then you're gonna be a happy person. You're gonna be an impactful person. Does that make sense? Versus most people are like, who's gonna make me feel better? Like, shoot me now, right? Who's gonna make me feel better? Not me. I don't got time for that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Be that person that brings lightness. Laughing keeps people together. There's a big thing I live by, and that's why I make jokes. Like, I made this joke, and Tinsley's in the room, so this is terrible, but I feel like I got to go there. But I apologize ahead of time. It's important if you remember, Tinsley, that you love me very much. And if you reflect on my track record, this will not seem like a big deal. So through some finagling and Stephen Davies-ishness, we got the disaster contractor out to our house first to do the tear out, which is important. Now, the other side of the coin is the disaster contractor is a guy that I play hockey with, and we have a sometimes chirpy relationship with each other on the ice. So if you play hockey and you know what chirping is, that means that sometimes it gets a little spicy, a little mixed up, right? I'm a little bit of an instigator. I get it. I cause that. But Tinsley's like, how did we get him out here first? And I was like, well, Tinsley, I promised you in marriage to their oldest son, so yeah. Daddy needed his hot tub sooner, so yeah. Stay for a nightcap. But no, seriously, take it. Because here's the choice, right? You can either have endorphins and dopamine, or you can have cortisol, right? You know, cortisol, that's the chemical that your brain emits when you're angry. Like, anybody ever seen dumb, old, angry people before? And I mean that with the least respect. I mean, dumb, old, angry people. Like, it's like, I mean, kill me now. I don't want to be that. Does that make sense? We were out to dinner one time on a date night, and this couple was old and angry and just complaining about everything. And like, oh, everything's the worst, right? Like that couple, and they're arguing with each other. And I was like, hey, I walked over to the table. I was like, hey, can y'all not argue? Like, I'll buy your dinner if you just stop arguing, because this is date night, and you're like really killing the vibe. She knows she's contractually with me for the rest of my life, and like I don't even think about what's happening over here. And I was like, I'll buy your ticket and everything, and they did. And Holly's like, well, why did you do that? I mean, what if he would have gotten upset? And I was like, well, I did the math. He was probably 72. I think I could have fought him. Like I wasn't. But here's the point. I don't want to be that. Does that make sense? That's from a lifetime of cortisol addiction. That's people living in their Facebook group silos and just getting angrier and angrier and angrier. That's how you become a dumb person, because cortisol damages the hippocampus of your brain. It's a helpful chemical when you're in fight or flight, but if you continuously stay angry, you will become very, very dumb. And I don't want to become a dumb, angry old person, so that's why we take laughter very seriously. However,
I am beautiful in the dark, though.
Wait, what? Yeah, so gentlemen, go ahead and write that down and never ever say that, no matter how in the moment you feel. We were in the Dominican Republic, and we're like in our beautiful oceanfront suite, and the moonlight's coming between the blinds, and it's washing over my lady's face. And I'm good.
Right.
And I brush my hand on her cheek. She's got great cheeks, right? And I'm like, baby, you are so beautiful in the dark. Yeah. I mean, even Barry White himself has never penned anything that good. You know what I'm saying? All right. So the first thing we take very seriously outside of laughter is responsibility. Holly, you want to talk about responsibility a little bit?
Yeah. I'm going to kind of define them for everybody, because these are some words that, they're adult words.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of them, but we're going to try it. Responsibility. Why should we take responsibility seriously? Because it encourages accountability, trust, and personal growth. And when you take responsibility in your life, it shows maturity. I don't think that happened over there, but and also integrity. It also strengthens relationships, whether in personal or professional, by showing others that you can be reliable and trustworthy. A lot of big words.
Those are grown-up words.
Big grown-up words. So trusting, being, I don't know.
So,
How do you apply that?
So responsibility to me, it's this, right? There's questions like, what do I owe the team? And nothing irritates me more than when someone's like, they fancy themselves a leader, but then they don't feel like they have to do the stuff they don't want to do for the team. Does that make sense? And I could go forever on this responsibility tangent, because the world around us apparently doesn't want to be responsible for anything, right? Nobody's responsible for anything. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. If it's tough, go ahead and give up. Just quit, little fella. I do a lot of voices around our house to keep things funny, like especially during Star Wars. I like to do like Darth Vader as a Frenchman. That's pretty fun.
That's called schizophrenic.
It's called. Just saying, when you got a lot of voices in your head, you're never lonely. Welcome to the party. The crazy feels fine. Come on in. So it's like, what do I owe the team, right? What do I owe the team? I can't just like sit and just benefit from the years of leadership that Fitz has shown, right? I can't just sit and benefit from the years of leadership that Katz has shown and just be like, I don't got to do anything I don't want to do. Does that make sense? I take responsibility very seriously. And again, we started with laughter because that's kind of what most people think of our family as, but not like a laughing stock, but like laughing with. That's at least the way I see it and label it and brand it. But, what do I owe the team? And the same thing with the family. Like, what do I owe my family, right? What's my role? Am I playing my role in the spirit of service of which it deserves? And think about this too, up, down, sideways, what do you owe, right? And again, I bounce back and forth between family and business because it's kind of the same thing, but what do I owe my kids? What does a responsible adult, what do I owe? What's my responsibility to my kids? Gotta wish more parents thought about that, right? Instead of doing the selfish thing. What's my responsibility to Holly? What's my responsibility as far as example to other men, right? So the same thing in the business. What's my responsibility to the people on my team that I'm trying to lead? What's my responsibility to my sideline buddies? I did shuffle Riddle's notes, those of you that were in here for the earlier one. But to be clear, he only had 3 pages of notes, so I thought that was an okay prank. If he'd had 8 pages of notes, that's where I draw the line that's no longer funny. So But what's my responsibility? And think about this. People say, I love the mentorship here. I love the coaching here. That's fantastic. What are you going to do with it? Does that make sense? What are you going to do with it? You were mentored. Don't be a mentoring black hole that just sucks it all up. Be a distributor of what you have learned previously. And think about this. What do I owe the team is abundance. What does the team owe me is scarcity. So if you want to live in scarcity, that's what am I owed? What's the least I can do? If you want to live in abundance, it's what do I owe the team? Who does my family deserve for me to be? That's abundance. Does that make sense? And that's something we take deadly serious in our house, responsibility. Well, what is my responsibility in this situation? And not just what is a box I can check, but how can I live this responsibility, honor this responsibility, fulfill this responsibility in the spirit of service in which it deserves. Does that make sense? Because just checking a box, doing a duty, that's not the same thing as being responsible, at least the way I see it. Holly. So next is gratitude.
So gratitude promotes a positive mindset, strengthens relationships, and improves your well-being. Helps you focus on what you have in your life versus on what you don't. Whereas Stephen, he's a lot of fun. He really is. He really makes us laugh.
Pay attention. She's saying good stuff here.
That being said, no, he really he's fun. And I can't tell you how many times I literally spit wine through my nose. And if you have done that, that like burns. It sucks.
So that's actually an art, by the way. The timing of a joke, because you can't do it too early into the sip of wine, otherwise the wine goes back into the glass. Yeah. It has to be the perfect time to where the wine then comes back through the nose. That's art.
He also can take a joke way too far, like 4 time zones too far.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What?
No, never mind.
Oh, okay. But I have to remember that I love not just parts of him. I have to love the whole thing. But I am grateful for that. I am grateful that, I could be married to a guy that I have to kick off the couch every day to go to work. So in that, I am very grateful I do not have to do. If anything, I'm like, will you please just go take a nap, please? Because you're driving me crazy.
It is funny. It's like a negotiation when I am sick, like that one time that happens every, third time that Mercury's in.
It's always called allergies. It's never sickness. We all know that.
It's always like a negotiation. Like, okay, my client will plead down to not feeling well and surrendering phone privileges for 20 minutes. But this whole thing that he has the flu, yeah, that's a non-starter in this negotiation of what I'm going to give up because you think I'm sick. It's so funny. And then every once in a while, like, she'll get that look on her face and she's like, I'm taking your phone. You're going downstairs. You're going to watch a Civil War movie and you're not going to come back up here until you're better.
No, he just needs to work out. It'll be fine.
You got to sweat the toxins out. That's basic science. So gratitude, here's the thing. True gratitude is not based on circumstance, right? Anybody can be grateful when things are great. Anybody can. Anybody can be grateful when everything is going your way, right? We've all had those runs. I love those runs. Oh my God, those runs, they're great for my self-esteem. Oh man, I am really good when things are going great. Like, I'm just telling you, you have never seen anybody better at life when everything's going great. I am a killer. But can I be grateful when things aren't going great, right? Grateful is not dependent on circumstance. Here's the other things. Being a grateful person, grateful people don't worry about fairness. The people you always say, that's not fair, right? Those are ungrateful people. When you're grateful, you're not worried about those things. I see it all the time when I'm talking to a couple that's like dysfunctional, and it's like, it's a gratitude problem is the problem. They think they're an idiot, but the problem is neither one of them are grateful. You got someone to tolerate you 24 hours a day, bro. Like, what else do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, And ladies, I mean, you got someone that tolerates you for 24 hours a day. What else do you want? Right? Most important thing for people to remember when you're married is that you might be exactly as annoying as the person you're married to. Like, that's a little truth bomb maybe you're not ready for. Yeah, you might be as big a pain in the butt as they are, right? Right? You ever think about the grace you're extended behind your back? Anybody want to see that tab? Whew, I don't want to see mine. I'd be worried about the one that says, I'd like to see the tab of grace that's been extended behind my back, because I know it's not a lot. I'm living my best life, right? Get back on Instagram and quit bothering real people. You know? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously.
Sorry.
You can't do that when you're 44 doing a talk, Lou. You're supposed to coach me up on these things. All right. But seriously, like, think about the things in that context of grace you've been extended behind your back. None of us wants to see that tab. And grace is one of those things that goes with gratitude. When you're grateful, it's easy to extend grace to others. So start every day with gratitude. We're very serious about that in our house. Like, in our house, that is one thing that we will blow the whistle, call each other out on if we're not being grateful. There's so much to be grateful for. I mean, I don't know if you know a lot about astronomy, but I know a good bit. I made a whole model when I was a kid with the planets, paper mache. And then they took one of my planets away. Like, yeah, I made the model with Pluto, and then apparently they were like, nope. And I'm like, but I already made the paper mache when I was a kid, so it's a planet to me. I don't care. But I don't know if you've looked at the universe, but pretty much everywhere other than where we live sucks a lot. So the fact that you're on a planet that's awesome, pretty cool. The fact that you were the fastest swimmer of the army you were competing against, pretty cool. One of my favorites is the fact that we're not panda bears. Do you know panda bears go extinct because they don't like to mate? They would rather eat than mate. This is a fact about panda bears. I think it's because panda bears all look like each other. I wouldn't be trying to chase someone that looks just like me around the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things to be grateful for. We graduated the food chain. Are you kidding me? I mean, were any predators trying to hunt you on the way to the meeting room today? Like, did you have to be like, all right, they feed this time of night? You know, like, would anybody ever get in a Starbucks line and get eaten, right? There's so much to be grateful for, so let's just be grateful. All right, number 3, excellence.
I'm grateful for Stephen Davies. Excellence. We need to take this extremely serious because it is sets high standards for personal and professional achievement, encouraging growth and success. Striving for excellence also builds discipline, which is very hard for some people, attention to detail, and resilience, as it requires dedication and persistence to overcome challenges. Davies.
I always know I'm in trouble when she says Davies. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Everybody else calls me Davies, like, in my life. I don't know how that happens, and it's funny because people meet me, and, like, right away, they're like, what's up, Davies? And I'm like, I have other names as well. Stephen and Michael is my middle, but that's cool. Everybody picks Davies. When she says Davies, that's usually like, oh, Jesus.
No, it's usually dang it, Davies.
Yeah, that's worse. That's like first-degree trouble. Like, second-degree trouble is Davies. But no, excellence. Here's the thing about excellence. I love what you talk about resilience. If you're pursuing excellence, then the crap that happens doesn't matter. Does that make sense? Like, people, they get tripped up by stuff, and they're just, like, in their struggle and want to talk about their struggle. They're not pursuing excellence. Because if they were after something bigger, then that wouldn't have tripped them up. They wouldn't have wanted to live there. Does that make sense? Here's the other thing about excellence. Excellence, I said this in I think the agency manager meeting. I said it somewhere. Excellence doesn't require explanation. Like, if you're having to explain a lot, just know that all those words coming out of your mouth mean you're not, that we're not in that moment pursuing excellence. And by the way, like, all this stuff, whilst we take it serious, realize that we're just like everybody else, right? We're always all on a spectrum of all the important stuff in life, right? No one's ever, like, got it. Well, there are some people that think they got it, but we're not talking about those people. They're not here. The got it people are teaching their own seminar in the hallway because they got it, so they don't need to be in here with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there'll be times where you realize, crap, I stopped pursuing excellence. I started settling for okay. Does that make sense? And again, it's not just business, it's life. I want to be the best husband I can possibly be. I want to be the best dad I can possibly be. Anybody ever want a do-over on your kids after you learn information, right? Like when you have kids, you realize, holy crap, my parents were making it up as they went, right? Like after we had kids, I was like, Mom and Dad, hey, for real, you didn't know for a fact that I wouldn't die from that spider bite. There's no way you knew that. You gave me Tylenol and said, it should be fine. Right? Yeah. So, right, you learn information, you want to get better, but what am I trying to be the best possible parent I can be? Am I trying to be the best spouse I can possibly be? Am I trying to be the best part of the alliance I can be? What am I bringing to the table, right? Is the energy around me better for me having been in it? Or is it okay because I'm here? I know it's not going to be worse because that's not any of us, right? But if the energy just stays the same because we're here, we're not pursuing excellence. I left this out about gratitude. I want to go back to it. An ungrateful life is a drudgery to be endured until sweet, cold, icy death finally provides reliefs. Yeah, that was earlier. I left it out. I wanted to go back to it. Now we're back to excellence. Excellence doesn't use excuses. I'm sorry, reasons. Because they're just reasons. Now they're excuses. Reasons are excuses in like their church clothes. Like they're all dressed up and they look better, you know? Like you ever see people and then you're like, oh, you must have your church clothes on. You look like you could put yourself together today. That's all reasons are. They're just excuses, right? Can't is just another way of saying won't. Unless you're like, I can't dunk a basketball, right? I mean, I could. I guess I need some kind of launching device.
That's not what you told me.
Well, that was before you signed the marital contract.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, I can dunk. I'm not showing you until after we're married. Here's the question, and again, all this stuff, like, I take it deadly serious. At least, you know, I do my best to take it deadly serious. I'm not saying you ever have to. All right, so any of this stuff that feels like, hey, man, don't push on me like that. I'm like, hey, man, don't worry. We're cool. Hollie's the one that told me to say these things. But the question I ask myself is, why would I deprive the world of the best me that I can be? Not that I think I'm like central to solving everything in the world. Does that make sense? Like, I know I'm not. Like when I married Hollie, I used to think lint rollers were a one-time use item. I thought it was the biggest ripoff ever. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? The lint roller you rolled on your clothes? So we were married and I do a lint roller and I'm like, these things are a friggin' ripoff. And she's like, do you know there's more layers under there? And I was like, yeah, I mean, that one was at its end though. Of course I know that. Everybody knows that, right? Because that's what people know. That's what grown-ups do. And I was like, Lou, I had been thrown away for years. Well, don't ask me about lint rolling questions. I'm not your guy. Do you want to go to Hollie with the lint rolling questions? Huh? Holy cow, you got that one has put in some work. That's like a grizzled lint roller. That thing has seen things. That thing has fallen in the bottom of a Denny's and rolled around the carpet for a minute. That has seen some stuff, yeah. So I say that to say I don't think I'm central to solving the world's problems. Please don't hear that question that way. I just use that to kind of guide what I read, what I do, right? How I try and behave every day. Why would I deprive the world of the best possible me? That's what I'm trying to get done every single day. Do I win most days? Man, I hope so. Do I lose some days? Sure, right? But that's what I'm trying to get after. That's excellence. All right, number 4, loyalty.
I like this one. Loyalty is based on your values, your promises, your responsibility, and it promotes teamwork. Being loyal, what does that mean to you? I'm loyal to Stephen. I'm loyal to my kids. I didn't have the best mom growing up. Well, dang it, I'm definitely going to be better than I had. May not always be the best, but, you try. And I'm loyal to Andy and Jane. I don't care what else is out there. I'm here. It can go to the ground. It can go to this. It doesn't matter. I'm here. I'm loyal to them. I'm loyal to the Burges. I'm loyal, to Moo right now. No, that's sorry, how many? There you go. Okay. But no, teamwork. People don't like team. People don't like, it's more of an I type world out there.
Yeah.
We have good days, we have bad days. But when we're a team, we can make anything happen. Y'all can make anything happen. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Loyalty is one of those things, it's a multiplier on effort. When someone is just in their own effort for their own thing, it's so limited. When you're in a loyal effort, all efforts are amplified, and it's 10x, it's 100x. Loyalty is one of those things that people throw that word around. I like that people throw it around a lot. Like, I'm a loyal person. I hear you. I always knows what that means. I don't like giving talks with Holly because she knows what some of the things I say mean. Because we have our own unspoken thing going on here. But I do love getting to speak with you because when I can make you laugh at the big conventions and lose your thought, that's not wine out your nose. That's next level. When we would give a main stage talk and I would make her laugh so hard she'd lose her thought, that. Oh, it's the best. What is it? See, I like to throw that stuff out there. I'm like, okay, that's my people. All right, I got my nacho people in the audience. So let me tell you something about loyalty is not just sticking around. Right? Let's all be people for a minute, and can we all admit that not everybody's the greatest person ever? Are we cool with that? Okay. I always joke around about graveyards. I love graveyards because in every graveyard, everybody's beloved and devoted, but some of them are just tools. I mean, that's straight up facts. Yeah, I kind of want to see a tombstone that says, here lies Joe, kind of a tool. Didn't even pay for this, right? Because that would at least make my heart happy. Okay, so there is some truth and balance in this universe that we live in after all, right? Here lies Joe because nobody else wanted him, right? Because that's the reality, right? Okay, we're on the same page and not everybody's a great person. All right, so, they all can be great people. I believe in people. I think people are growth machines and the growth mindset, et cetera. All right, let's get back to reality. You ever run a final expense appointment? And you're like, oh, man, we should just do a first to die policy because that's all this couple's waiting on. Married 32 years, just waiting on the first one to die. It's like a standoff, they're both in their recliner. They hate each other. They hate life. They hate everything about their little double wide life, and they just hate each other. And they're just, are we all on the same page? Have we all seen this? Have we all run this lead? If you're not licensed yet, don't worry. You get to do this in the future. It's great. For some reason, these people own a lot of birds as well. Usually a cat or two walking around. And the recliners, man, that's just a thing. So anyways, we're all on the same page, right? So here's the point. Would you say they're loyal? No, I kind of set you up with that. I'm sorry. My enthusiasm gets me in trouble a lot. No, because loyalty is not just sticking around. That's right, Marcus. Loyalty is growth. Loyalty is growth. I don't get points for being loyal just because I hadn't left Holly yet. Does that make sense? That's not loyalty points. Married you, didn't I? I feel like those guys rub their belly a lot. If you rub your belly a lot when you talk to other people, you should stop doing that. That's off-putting. Married you, didn't I? That's not loyalty, right? Loyalty is growth. And so when I say I'm loyal to Andy, when I'm loyal to guys like Fitz that I've been in this fight with for 24 years, I don't get to have points for loyalty because I show up to the events. What am I doing to grow? What am I doing to grow my team? What am I doing to grow as a person so I can be a better part of that inner circle? Does that make sense? Here, loyalty, here's the other thing about loyalty. It's beautiful, really. Loyalty is a choice that simplifies all other choices. Disloyal people, they have a lot of stuff going on upstairs. They're always 1 foot in, 1 foot out of everything in their life. So they don't have a lot of clarity or simplicity. Now, believe me, what I'm after is simplicity. I've had complexity. The aftertaste, not so great. I want simplicity. Loyalty, it simplifies it. It makes a bunch of other choices for you. Because I'm loyal in business, that simplifies, I don't have to think about other things. Does that make sense? I'm not like, well, did you hear this company done this right here? Over here, this company done that right. I got to stop doing the redneck voice. That's like my go-to voice. I know. But I have so many other voices in my head. So I could do like, I could do like New England, right? That's a good one, right? You know, like, well, you hear about this company over here, right? They got products that we don't have. They got lead source, or it's the best lead source in the whole country, right? Like, I don't have to go there. That was Peter Griffin. Yeah. Allegedly, I've never seen that show, but some of the rougher elements in my men's dance troupe talk about it a lot. Because loyalty simplifies your life, loyalty gives you freedom. Does that make sense? Like, I can think about other things because it's me and Hollie. Does that make sense? It's me and Hollie, man. I can think about a whole lot of other stuff that's more important because it's me and Hollie. It simplifies so many other things in my life. People that lack loyalty have a lot of dysfunction. Loyalty negates dysfunction. Loyal people have very little dysfunction in their life. Loyalty is words and actions. It's growth. It's growth. It's not just sticking around. Here's the other cool thing about loyal people. You don't have to worry about loyal people. My goal is for Andy to never worry about me. My goal is for Hollie to never worry about me about important stuff, like worry about the state of the things going on in my head. Like, that's cool. I like that. That's fun. Gives you something to think about. And so am I. But, oh, yeah. That's perfect. All right, priorities, Hollie, take over. That's so good.
I need to prioritize my life. My gosh. Thanks a lot, Davies. All right.
Anybody want to hang out later?
Stay for a nightcap. Oh, speaking of which, our honeymoon, he makes me watch So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Now,
what in the world?
Thematically, I get the problem, but it's a hilarious movie. She had not seen it. She did not know the premise. She was like, what'd you put in? I was like, So I Married an Axe Murderer. She was like, huh?
What are you saying?
It's more of a tutorial than anything, babe.
Priorities. Okay, so being serious here. Priorities. Okay, focus on your time and your energy, where you want them. Resources on what matters the most. Priorities can also help you manage your stress and become less burnt out. Priorities. I'm not very good at priorities. I do know that.
Oh, you're really good at priorities.
No, I need to improve. I definitely could improve.
That's all of us. You know, priorities is one of those things. If you have more than a few, you have none.
I have too many distractions, and you're one of them.
Oh.
Not like that.
Oh. It's not the first time I took my shirt off during a breakout session. So Asheville's been like just absolute disaster. There's like one restaurant open when we came back to our house to collect some of our things to go to our next Airbnb, and it was Wild Wing Cafe, which gets a little out of hand at night. But
It was
They
2
had-
o'clock in the afternoon.
they had cold draft beer and they had chicken wings. So I was like, yeah, let's have a little slice of normalcy. Well, we're on the outdoor patio and a wasp flies in the back of my shirt. It starts lighting me up. So I jump up, I take my shirt off, and I'm running around the Wild Wing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Had I known that was going to happen,
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, I did not get any tips, but I did get a nice piece of paperwork that said I can't come back anymore, but that was cool. Cease into something, I can't remember. But an indictment is not a conviction. That's a very important thing for you to remember. But I'm very clear. Like if you only have if you have multiple priorities, you have no priorities. The only thing that matters in my life is my spiritual life, my family life, my business. If it's outside of that, I don't care. Does that make sense? Like I really don't care. I think people think I'm going to care about stuff, and it's so cute when they're like, "Don't you care about this? Don't you care about this?" And I'm like, "No."
and that was me, by the way, that said that. He was doing me. Pun intended.
No, my Holly impression is a little different.
Oh,
but
gosh.
Tinsley earmuffs. No, I'm kidding. No, if it doesn't fit in, it doesn't fit in. Now, here's what I'll tell you. When you have some success for a little while, you will be able to add some things, some luxuries as far as things you might care about or be interested in. But if that season of life changes and you go into a season where you no longer can afford that, now you're in a different season. Let that crap go. Does that make sense? Get thin. There's going to be times you need to get lean and get back to what are the 3 things that really matter in my life? What are the 3 things that matter? Here's the thing. If you keep it lean like that, you won't get caught in the past. Nothing kills me more than when I'm talking to someone and they're just stuck in the past, like, oh man, I just wish I wish we had it like it was before. And it's usually before Andy did this, before this carrier did that. I want it like it was before. And it's like, well, then make a time machine, Doc Brown. Like, I don't like what do you want? Like, it's a fool's errand to spend your life talking about the past. The problem with talking about the past is you spend your whole life talking about what was, and then you die, right? So having priorities keeps you focused on the future. You're not worried about the past or changes. If you have clear priorities, you don't get stuck. You don't get stuck in OPD. Anybody know what OPD is? Yeah, you hate OPD. Yeah, you know me. Other people's drama. It's funny when someone's like, but don't you care? And I'm like, not a bit.
It's tough.
I'm not married to that person, and I was not a causation factor in their birth. Ergo, it doesn't move the needle much.
That's not the reason.
I can't let the course of decisions that someone else has made hijack my emotions and steal them from my family, right? Here's what else keeps you from. It keeps you from slights, offensives, and past hurts. You ever seen someone like that, like to carry a past hurt around with them? And then you start talking like, hey, yeah, you don't see my past hurt?
It's really
I keep it with me at all times. It's real bad. You don't see my past hurt, Brian? How? Crystalline, you don't see my past hurt? It's real important to me. I carry it with me everywhere I go. I don't leave any. There's my little past hurt. There you are. Break my heart. Fill my brain with cortisol, you do. That's my past hurt. Lou, you want to see my past hurt? Priorities keep you from carrying that crap around. It keeps you, priorities keep you from wasting your life scrolling through others.
I forget.
Oh, God, help these people. It's like the zombie apocalypse. You walk through the airport and like, right? Like 2 people, they're married to each other, right? Or maybe in a relationship. I don't know. I don't suppose things. I guess a lot, maybe. But they're probably in a relationship. And they're sitting in the airport. Squirrel, got a squirrel.
That's something.
Like, that's how you want to spend your life? There's nobody in hospice right now. Like, they're laying on their deathbed in hospice, and they're like, if I had just 1 more minute, I'd scroll some more.
Damn. Shut with that.
Bury me with my Insta feed. I only hope there's social media where I'm going. Priorities keep you from distractions in the rumor mill. I love me like, did you hear? And I'm like, yeah, I didn't, and I don't care. I got priorities, man. I got priorities. I ain't worried about that. Hey, priorities keep you from the true but useless. Write that down. True but useless. That robs a lot of life from people. It's true, but useless to me. So I don't care. Right? Well, this is a fact, and I know this for a fact. This is a fact. Like, okay. But it's useless as far as my world operates. So I don't care. It's not going to move the needle. Does that make sense? I've got to save my emotions for the stuff that matters. I got to save it for the people I love. Here's the thing. Where we spend our time and our money, that's our truth. Where we spend our time and our money is our truth. How about that time? We good? We good? Can I get a thumbs up? We good? All right, great, fantastic. Hey, so don't love stuff that doesn't matter more than the stuff that matters. It's like these old folks that they can't afford a $42 a month policy, but they got all the cigarettes, liquor, and lottery tickets. Hey, don't tell me you love your family. You love cigarettes, lottery tickets, and liquor more than you love your family, right? So priorities. All the stuff we're talking about is principle-based, guys. And when you operate on principles, it gives you the ability to navigate the inevitable changes of life. I'm watching it. The inevitable changes of life that will come your way. Holly and I love you. Let's get after it. Oh, whistle. Blow the whistle. Let's go.